We're driving a 2022 Toyota RAV4 Prime. Coming up, Evie's going to show you why the most efficient of RAV4s is also the most fun. But first, information explosion! The Toyota RAV4 is a compact SUV, and it's actually the best-selling compact SUV in America right now. Among RAV4s, the most popular version, it could be argued, is this, the Prime. It's the plug-in hybrid version. In fact, we've got a friend who put an order in on one, and she was told it would be somewhere between 8 months to 2 years until her RAV4 Prime arrived.
Dang!
I know. Let's begin with interior.
To me, the vibe of the interior is mostly functionality. Like, it has these big utilitarian knobs with this grippy material. Really grippy door handles.
I would say those are the grippiest door handles in the business. Yeah, you're absolutely right. There is a lot of function here at the little dash storage area there, and there's one over here on my driver's side as well. Despite being a compact SUV, it's so spacious in here. Seated behind myself, my goodness, my knee clearance is substantial, incredible headroom. The rear seats do recline, not a ton of recline, and it's a little bit awkward to reach the lever to recline them, but you can get them into a reclined position if you want. And then that middle position, I like it because where your feet go, where that center hump is a very wide platform. So if you're stuck there, you do know where to put your feet, and it's a relatively comfortable place. Hey kiddo, how do you find getting in and out of this car?
It's really easy. It would probably be easy for a 6-year-old.
Not that you're a 6-year-old, you're a mature 7-year-old, but if somebody younger, say a 6-year-old, were to try and get in here, they could probably get in, you think? Oh, and I got a question for you. How do you like the smell?
Not too bad.
Not too bad is pretty good praise for our kiddo. She does not like new car smell, and it tears me up inside. Acting.
Very good, dear.
I should mention that the climate controls are truly idiot-proof. The buttons are around here are all pretty logically laid out. One little complaint is over here by my knee. There's a bunch of buttons that you kind of can't see unless you're specifically leaning out past the steering wheel. Overall, it's a again, very functional space. Over the years, I have praised Toyota for their seats, the fact that they tend to be pressure point free, and I'm noticing the same thing here. I think these seats are really comfortable. What about getting the car seat in and out?
There are no covers or labels for the latch points, but that doesn't matter because you can see them. It was really easy to install the car seat.
Another detail that is really nice for those in back, rear vents are standard. So now if you're seated in the back of a RAV4, you will get cooled or warmed as the season demands. That's what that looks like. As for cargo space, in the back of our RAV4 Prime, we have 33.4 cubic feet, which is actually a little less than the, 37.5 that comes in a standard non-hybrid RAV4, but still plenty of space to work back there. I do like vehicles that have easy releases from the cargo area. In the RAV4 Prime here, you really have to lean way up to the top of the rear seat back to flip them forward. But overall, it's a functional space. Man, I am using the word functional so many times in this video. I'm tempted to add a tally for the word functional in the video.
No. That's way too much work for the video editor.
Which is why I'm tempted to do it. But I will not because I love you.
Yay!
That's what love looks like when you've been married for 22 years. As for safety, the Toyota RAV4 is a 5-star overall rated vehicle from the NHTSA. It is an IIHS Top Safety Pick Plus. It includes 8 airbags standard. It also includes a standard Toyota Sensing Suite of active driver assist that includes lane keeping assist, automatic emergency braking with pedestrian detection, and it also includes full-speed dynamic cruise control. Assuming you're still conscious after all those words I just said, what do you think? Is the Toyota RAV4 family friendly?
Family friendly.
Yeah, very family friendly. Rear window test.
My stick's broken.
But all the way down. Armrest test. I'm here in a comfortable 8 and 4, and a standard complaint. I wish the armrests were a little bit further inboard for an easier perch, but I can make it work. It's a little bit firm and under padded on the outboard, but very soft on the inboard. I'm gonna go 50% on the outboard, and let's say 75% on the inboard. Hey! Have you subscribed to our channel? If you would like to see more videos like this where we review cars as a family plus the occasional helicopter adventure, feel free to subscribe. Style! Let me very quickly thank the sponsor for today's video, Flying Eyes that's the wrong way. Flying Eyes Sunglasses. These are the matte black Kestrels. This is their aviator style frame with the mirrored rose lenses, and this is the one I wear almost all the time when I'm flying in the helicopter. They are so durable. They're made out of this stuff called Brasilamide that makes them very, very bendable, and they just look great and they feel great. They're incredibly lightweight, and I love wearing them in my daily life or when I'm doing things like flying. Sweetie wears her ophthalmic line. They have her prescription in there for her bad eyes.
And they also come with these removable magnetic tinted lenses, so they double as sunglasses.
If you're ready to upgrade to aviation grade eyewear, click the link in the description below. Use the promo code Micah for 10% off. Tell them Micah sent you, or maybe Evie, or maybe Kiddo. Flying Eyes. When I look at the RAV4, I think there's a compact SUV made by Toyota. It doesn't really like punch me in the face with style, and perhaps that's coming off of the Kia Sportage we reviewed recently. Every inch of that vehicle is styled. To me, the RAV4 looks a little bit more restrained, but I find it handsome. What do you think about it?
I would like to see it in another color, like maybe that supersonic red with the contrasting black roof. Because then you would get to notice the bits of black trim like around the wheels and the back bumper, and I think that would just give it a little more flair.
There's that blue flame color that they also have for the Corolla that I've seen for the RAV4 that I think looks super sassy. Wait, is that available on the RAV4? If it's not, it should be. Run, little squirrel, run. No, not away, no. I think that squirrel was so distracted by the style of the RAV4 that, what do you guys think? Do you like or do you dislike the look of the Toyota RAV4? Tell us in the comments. If you'd like to see what we're doing between YouTube videos, you can give us a follow over on Instagram, In Motion. On the long freeway commute driving this thing back to our mountain community, I noted that interior noise is maybe a little bit louder than I would prefer. Ride quality is fine. Same thing with the steering. I'm not getting a ton of driver engagement here and information, but it goes in a predictable way left and right. So what I think is really interesting about the RAV4 Prime is the powertrain. There's so much complexity happening here. You've got a motor in the back, you got a motor in the front, you got the gasoline engine, and they all just kind of merge together sensibly. You don't really even think about it unless you floor it, and you'll hear that engine racing a little bit, but it just kind of does its thing and then rewards you with 42 miles of electric range and exceptional fuel economy. And I really like that. The less I have to think, the better. That is a nice natural segue into drive modes. If you go over here, you've got actually a bunch of kind of confusing buttons. You can go eco mode, which I never will. You can do sport mode if you're living your life 1/4 mile at a time, and normal. If you're lazy, I'll leave it in normal. There's also a trail mode here that tries to mitigate wheel spin if you're driving on slippery surfaces. The RAV4 isn't really an off-roader per se, but if you're doing light trails, this can help get traction to the ground. Then up here we've got auto EV/HV, and then you've got a button for switching between those two modes, and then charge hold. If you want to only use electric range when you are going on your commute, make sure you're in EV mode. If you'd like to save your electric range for later, then you can just put it into hybrid mode. And that does get to the point of this charge hold button. One thing you can do, like right now we're low on charge, if I hold that button, it will use the gasoline engine to recharge the battery. And you might be thinking the thermal efficiency of an internal combustion engine is so bad. Why would you ever want to do that? If you're going camping, you can plug items in here, or you want to make sure that you've got battery to run the AC or something. You might have a reason why you want the battery to be charged en route, and that's one way to do it. Just make sure it's charged up. It will only charge to 80%, but it's still a neat thing to have. Why would you want your RAV4's battery to be fully charged? Tell us in the comments. Okay, I think I've had enough of me talking. Let's get Evie behind the wheel. Evie's at the wheel. In the beginning of the video, we teased that Evie was going to show you why the most efficient of RAV4s is also the most fun. Sweetie,
yes?
It doesn't have to be now, but whenever
Okay.
you are comfortable, feel free to show them why this is the most fun.
Okay, I can't believe you put me in charge of fun.
It's a weird decision, but I feel like you have big emotions and you might have a big reactions. Before we get to that point though, let's go the exact opposite direction. How do the brakes feel?
That did not feel unnatural, but when I'm coming to a stop, they feel a little weird to me.
That is where hybrid brakes really struggle. That last 10 feet of slowing is where things get very, very tricky. We still haven't found a spot yet for you to unveil the fun.
I
So,
thought you were
will-
going to forget about that.
I will not forget about the fun. I never forget about the fun. While we're trying to find the fun, tell me, how was your visibility?
So over my right shoulder, despite the big B-pillar, it's good. Over my left shoulder, it's actually good. I can see beyond this thick B-pillar.
Yeah, the windows are good size. That quarter window is actually pretty functional. So yeah,
Yeah.
visibility is great.
Uh-oh. Is
What's
it
that?
time for the fun?
Hey, I'm not driving. You tell me. Ah!
Whoa.
The point you were making there is this is actually the fastest four-door Toyota sells. The RAV4 Prime.
Whoa.
The power output on this thing is great if you saw the information explosion. And they say it'll do 0 to 60 in like 5.7 seconds, which is very quick, especially for a compact SUV. I like that we live in the era where that kind of speed coexists with great fuel economy and pure electric driving range.
It's fun being responsible.
Yeah. It sounds like you're having a pretty positive experience driving the Toyota RAV4 Prime. I guess all we have to do is floor it one last time on the straightaway.
Woo!
Yeah. In total, I think the RAV4 is a fine driving vehicle, but what makes this one special and what I really like about it is the powertrain. There's a lot to be enjoyed there, both in terms of efficiency and fun. I will very quickly thank the fine folks on Patreon who support us. And we've had some people show up recently, and it's just really great connecting with you guys there. So thank you for your support, patrons. Onward to emotion factor. Typically, I wouldn't say that the RAV4 has a strong emotion factor, but driving the Prime, that does change the math a little bit.
That off-the-line electric torque is fun.
It is fun. Like, look at that. And I think there are also a couple of elements with the Prime that give it a little bit more of an emotional appeal, not the least of which being the, I don't want to say smug, but I think you could be a little bit smug about how you get to drive past the gas station with the inflated fuel prices. And then also the fact that if you do indeed get your RAV4 Prime, then you've done something. That's a real achievement because a lot of people want them and not very many people can get them. If you want to buy a RAV4 Prime of your very own, I'm guessing you're going to need to sell your current car first. If you'd like to know what your current car is worth and how much your next car should cost, let Kelley Blue Book be the trusted resource for your buying journey. Journey, is that? Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I feel like I had a lot of momentum there, but it really trailed off at the end. Click the Kelley Blue Book link in the description below if you'd like to see how much a vehicle should cost or how much yours is worth. Remarks! Remark number 1. Infotainment. I bet Sweetie has thoughts.
The way it's laid out is great. It's a combination touchscreen, physical buttons, and knobs. Awesome. Easy to find my way around.
Yeah.
Perhaps a little monochromatic with the look. When you get into the map, you're like, maybe this is showing a little bit of age. Those graphics are a little...
A little TomTom 2014.
Yeah. But when you turn on the backup camera or the 360 camera, that's where it's really showing its age.
Earlier I said the phrase low res and my child's like, what does that mean? Well, this is what that means. The image quality is pretty grainy and it lacks the crispness that we see in some of the competitive vehicles. On the other hand, it still gives you some useful information. In fact, if you hit the camera button before you start up, it'll do a sweep around the vehicle. And I think that's really helpful to kind of get a almost like a pre-flight walk around of your RAV4 before you depart. So it's not as though it's not useful, and that's a double negative, so I'm going to say it is useful. By the way, this is a 9-inch screen in our XSE trim. Meanwhile, the standard RAV4 gets a 7-inch screen with a 9-inch screen optional. Strangely, you can get an 8-inch screen on the SE version of the RAV4 Prime. So they offer a 7, an 8, and a 9. And I always think with that many different parts numbers, would they save money overall if they just made a single screen size? That's the long way of saying you've got options. We are driving the RAV4 Prime, which is their plug-in hybrid, but there are other engine choices. Let's talk about them. If you buy a base RAV4, it'll come with a gasoline engine that's a 2.5 liter 4-cylinder with an 8-speed automatic transmission. If you upgrade to the hybrid, you get a little bit more horsepower and a lot more fuel economy, and it comes with something called an eCVT, which is not the same as a regular continuously variable transmission. It's a completely different technology. And then you have the plug-in hybrid version that we're driving here, which has a lot more horsepower and 42 miles of pure electric range. By the way, if you want to charge it up, it'll take 12 hours on a standard household outlet, 2.5 hours though with a 240 volt, 32 amp home charger. Fun fact, if you get the hybrid or the plug-in hybrid, all-wheel drive comes standard. Meanwhile, it is optional on the gas version. Sweetie.
Yes.
Can I make a trim recommendation?
Yeah.
Oh boy. I should be clear, our trim recommendation is based on the features you would want on a vehicle, the ones you would regret not getting, but at the lowest possible price. I'm gonna recommend the XLE trim. Now we're just talking about the regular gasoline version, but it adds $1,500 to the base price of the LE trim. But for that $1,500, you get smart key access, dual zone climate control, a power driver's seat, blind spot warning, and alloy wheels. And all those things I think are great, especially that smart key access. I would regret not getting that. I'm gonna go one step further and say I might recommend the hybrid. I noticed that if you get the LE with all-wheel drive, going to the hybrid, which comes standard with all-wheel drive, is only $775 more. For that price, you get 16 more horsepower and a 33% jump in fuel economy, meaning you're gonna pay back that $775 premium really, really quick. Stop the video. Look, a Chevy SSR is gonna drive by. Wow, it's purple. As for the competitive set, they are the names you would expect. Honda CR-V, which by the way is all new for 2023. You got the Hyundai Tucson, Subaru Forester, and then Kia Sportage, which we reviewed recently. And if you'd like to see what we thought about that, up here. But a quick preview, it's very futuristic and deeply styled and an intriguing alternative to the RAV4. Also available in hybrid and plug-in hybrid versions. Did we miss any remarks? If so, tell us in the comment section. Synopsis! In thinking about the essence of the Toyota RAV4, it's kind of your straightforward, compact SUV, but very well made and extremely popular. And especially in Prime version, I think it is the brand new In-N-Out burger of compact SUVs. Like, I don't know why people are lining up 4 hours for a burger, but you can't argue with success. If you would like to see more of these kinds of videos where we review cars as a family or the occasional helicopter adventure, feel free to subscribe. If you're curious what we're doing between YouTube videos, you can give us a follow over on Instagram. Family! I think we've done a pretty good job reviewing the Toyota RAV4 Prime. May I have a 5? Ow! And a 5? And you can get your high five. Ah!